What's up, everybody? We're going to be doing a little bit of a video here, and by a little bit I mean we are going to be doing a video. And something that I wanted to try was something that I've talked about is like, what are your main characters? What are your characters in your programming? And I've talked about it a lot, but I haven't done much in the way of some like a visual representation. So we're gonna take probably intro, verse, chorus, and just kind of highlight three different ideas when it comes to what is your kind of leading character when it comes to programming, and it ultimately will lead to a few different styles. So in our rig here, we have three main characters, if you will. And when I say characters, I mean that you have a lead role, you have a support role, and then you might have kind of that quirky, fun little character that pops in that is like the comic relief or just fits a specific niche in terms of telling the overall story. So in our rig, we've got three main characters, or not main characters, we have three characters. We have our Diablos, which is our spots. We have our quantum washes, which are our washes. And then we also have kind of in an aggregate, we have just static wash fixtures, a combination of SL 660s and 640s, SL 155 zooms, and then Chauvet solo battens. So those are kind of doing our static wash that supplies a very, gives a, on its own, gives a good look, as well as the quantum washes and the Diablos kind of on their own. But together, they create a story, and they create moments, and they create looks, and they create this experience that kind of goes throughout not only the each song, but also in some cases an entire worship experience. So without further ado, so I have this kind of in the, I don't know if this video is in the bottom, but I have a web remote set up, and it's only going to be this screen one. So you're going to see me popping around layout view. I'm going to try my best to keep it on this remote view that I created that has the encoders in it, so you can kind of see as I'm building some stuff. But yeah, the song that we're going to do is Praise. My son is very into that song. He's always singing it. So I was like, well, it's pretty fitting. It's a pretty popular song. So we're going to kind of break down, not break down, but we're going to show a couple, the few different styles. We're going to highlight the spots. We're going to highlight the quantums, and we're going to highlight the static washes in each of those different looks. So I'm going to play the song just so we kind of can hear where we're at. But the other thing too is just to note is let's say the quantum washes is like the main character. It's going to carry the look. It doesn't mean the other lights are off. It just means they're taking a back seat. They're doing a more support role. They might be filling in just more utility, or they might actually be off altogether. It just depends on where they're at in the rig and the overall look that we're trying to accomplish. So it doesn't mean your support roles are off, your other fixtures are off. It just means they're set back. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to accomplish that and what that looks like. So we've got Praise loaded up. You can hear it there. I'm gonna turn it down. Actually, I'm just gonna stop it for now. And I'm gonna create 1, 2, 3. So all I did is I just created 3 sequences, and I'm gonna label them Praise Diablo, which, man, that's kind of weird. Spots, let's do that. Praise, I'll get there. Washes, and then Praise static. So these are going to be the 3 kind of main deals we'll look at. And I'm just going to do store queue 2 through 5. We'll try to do maybe 5 queues. Store queue 2 through 5. Store queue 2 through 5. So we're going to have, I wonder if I actually have sequence. There we go. So that way you can see what I've got going on here. So for spots, we're going to do, we'll have a mark Q in all of them. Intro, verse, chorus. Q5 will just be kind of whatever. So anyway, so yeah, mark, intro, verse, chorus. Get real lazy with the mark, intro, verse, chorus. Cool. And we're not going to do anything with fade times for now. We'll just sort of keep them as zeros. So cool. So we've got the stage set. Let me kind of pop into show mode here. So that way we have, I'm gonna pull this up. So we're gonna be working here in spots. So this look is gonna be primarily spot driven. So what I do, and I've mentioned this before, I've got a highlight on, is I will kind of take everything and throw them in just a general look, and then kind of whittle it from there. And just for the sake of, let's see, yeah, just for the sake of time here, my wife's favorite color is purple, so we're gonna go with purple, or indigo. So we're gonna kind of do that on all of them, but yeah. So let's go ahead and turn those down. So I got everything kind of in a general look. So let's look at our spots. I'm gonna go to this new Ballantine encoder that I made, DIablo's, and let's. Interesting. It didn't take that. Wonder why. Let's go here and turn those on. Yeah, didn't take that either. It's all right. Oh, because it wasn't even in a queue, so I didn't know where to store it. That's why. Cool. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna be bouncing around a little bit here. Let me go to remote view. If I do that, does it take it? Oh, nice, great. Cool, so we're in our Diablos, and I like to do, just kind of start with this like a straight down. But with the Diablos kind of being, our spots being the main kind of feature, instead of a real washy look, I'm gonna do a super beamy look. And let's just kind of have this going in the background a little bit. Let's just listen to, it's got this like intro that's like, you know, you can do like kind of some hits along with it. Yeah. So I think what I want to do is with the Diablos, I think I want to have a fun. So when it goes to that, goes into that verse, I think I want the spots up. Kind of overhead. So store that in Q1. And then I think what I want it to have is, let's restart that. Yeah, so I think we could do a bunch of movement. There's a few things that when you're kind of in that, like headspace of what do I do? There's a couple ways you can do to kind of add energy. I'm gonna add energy later in the song. The song has plenty of energy opportunities. So so what I could do in this particular instance, what I want to do though, is in this verse, this is what I know that I want to do, is I want it to come down to this. So I want to start here in that intro, and I want it to come down, and we're just gonna give that just a global of 7. So da 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 da. Now that's a little bit too slow. I'll take that down to 3. So we're gonna do that. But what I want to do is on the pan. Yeah, this might be where my my encoder kind of messes me up there. I'm gonna go back here. So in my positioning, I actually want to set a fade time, fade and delay. We're gonna set that to 1 second and set a delay of 0 through 3 through 0. Yeah, it's a little much. Grab those again. So this is where like kind of the tweaking comes in. Oops, not phase. Fade, we're gonna do that as like we're gonna just do 3 seconds. It's a little bit more subtle. Cool. And then the other thing that I like to do is set the transition to S-curve. It just gives it a little bit of a softer transition. And let's see if we can't actually slow that down just a tidge more. Let's add another second to that. See what that looks like. Cool. Great. Now this intro needs some work, but I know what I want is I want 4 on the floor. So let's go ahead and play that. So we have our intro, and we're going to do something fun here. But what I want to do on the also, I don't remember. I think it's 120, 121, something like that. 120, 121, whatever it takes. Might be 126. I can easily solve this. I just don't remember the BPM off the top of my head. So sign that. Yeah, 127. Cool. Just mark that at 127. So on the verse, I know I want that 4 on the floor. So what I could do is I have these cool plugins, this effects maker by MA Tools, I believe, is the company. So what I want, and you can do create from presets, and I actually want the iris. So I want a closed iris to a open iris. And that's going to give me that, and we're going to do 127, and we're going to half that quite a bit. And then I also want groups of 4, and then a ramp up. So it's giving me that 4 on the floor that I'm looking for. And a couple things with this is that you can store it anywhere you want. You can store it as a preset or whatever, but it's in the programmer, so we're just going to store it right to our cue. So we've got this intro that we're going to be doing some stuff with, and then I'm going to come down to this. Now, one thing to note is, so I'm changing the iris. I'm not actually changing the beam. So if you notice, it's like pretty tight. So if I wanted to make that effect bigger, so this is where we get into like talking about dynamics to measure, is this effect is kind of subtle and set in the background. It's still there, it's still very present, but this is a much bigger, heavier hitting effect. So when we talk about managing dynamics, that would be something that we would go, oh, it could be a bigger look. So there is a build here, which normally if we were programming, we would add that in. but we're really focusing on the verse look, the intro look, the verse look, and then the chorus, which we're in the chorus now, and it's got that big praise, so it kind of drops out, but it's the big praise. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to capitalize a lot on, remember, these are our main character. We're probably going to capitalize a lot on that. Maybe not that big, but I am going to stomp this iris effect. We might put these overhead. Actually, we'll probably put these into the crowd, to be honest with you. It's taking that timing from earlier, so it won't follow that when I go to it. Great. So I've got some stuff there. Let's go back to the intro, because this is, I'm trying to figure out like what is the intro going to look like, and how is it going to set itself apart from the chorus. So the intro is kind of, it's more rhythmic. There's some like instrumentation, but it's really rhythmic. So I don't know if I want to do much movement there. I think I want to save that for the chorus. So what we're going to do is, and I'll go in here to this, is we're just going to do a standard. So group 1, we're going to add group 2, and just get that going. So we've got a nice kind of just general cosine effect going across. Let's open a matrix. Let's do a group of 4. See what that looks like. 1 through 180. Yeah. And then on the second, which let me see if I can pull up phaser so you can see. No. Stop. Gosh. Yeah, we'll change. No, that's a position. I'll get there. Don't worry. Don't y'all worry. We're going to do 0 through 360, and then we're going to go into transition, and we're going to drop that and get us something like that, because there's a lot of rhythmic and there's a lot of 4 on the floor in this. So I kind of want to, let me play it again. So I kind of want to capitalize on that. So we have our mark. We're going to turn these down. It's got that. So, and this is where we can kind of add stuff like that. So I want to, again, I'm trying to capitalize on that, and then so it's now we've got 2 things going on, and it looks a little chaotic. So what I want to do is I want to stomp that dimmer effect, because I want to transition that dimmer effect into an iris effect. And just for kicks and gigs, I'm curious about, I'm gonna go into here. So this is something, so beam, focus. So I'm curious what it would look like if I did do something like that. Phase 0 through 360, speed 127, 127 divided by 4. Let's actually divide that again. And then if I set transition down on, step 2, I'll set that to 55. No, I was just curious what that would look like. So we've got this, we're down into the verse, and then the chorus is kind of this big, pray, which is fine, looks good. But I think here is where I want to do some movement. So we're going to do just a standard circle. And we'll go in here. I'll pull up phaser. So yeah, so we're gonna do, oops, phaser 360. That kind of gets it pretty random. It's still kind of big, so I like to change the size. Just shrink that a tidge. So, and then yeah, let's change that to like a 4. Pray, going into the chorus. Cool. So now we can talk color. I like that. Store Q1. Now, something that we haven't added is the rest of the fixtures. So we have our general dynamics. The main character is the Diablos, right? So we don't want to do anything to compromise that. So we're going to go in here to intro. We're going to turn on our quantum washes. And again, we're sticking in this like indigo color. So what I'm doing here is I'm just sort of bumping through some colors just to see what pops. And indigo and orange look really well, or like a red. Even a yellow looks kind of nice, but ooh, that looks nice. Yes, indigo and cyan, real 90s. So what I'm going to do is, I think we just saturate, just go for it. So we're going to do that. Store Q1 for my color, and also like intensity and everything is in there. We're going to turn that down. So when we go into intro, something that we don't want to do is just go, okay, that's good. No, and here's the reason why. And also, this isn't going to be one complete video. We're going to break this up into a couple of different videos. This is just the spot one. So this is like, you look at it and you go, okay, well, what am I looking at? I've got, okay, cool. Yeah, we've got spots going, great. But I also see quantum washes. So, and they're in kind of conflicting, like those are down and then the Diablos are up. So it's not like a super clean, it's a little disorienting. So if I go, which is easily, I can just go, okay, let's go up overhead. And either or actually up rather. So I can do that. And I go, oh yeah, that looks, cleaner. They're kind of all going up. I need to do some adjusting on the angles or whatever. But I'll go, well, what's the main character? So I'm gonna go down. I think that is okay. Or let's look at what straight down looks like. It's a little bit better. What about out? What if we just go opposite? Okay, that's not terrible, but I'm still seeing them. Like they're still very, very much there. So something that I can easily do is, and also just for the sake of cameras, and this is something to think about, is am I going to sacrifice the look on the outside for better camera shots? So that's also something to think about. But I think for this, we're going to be okay. We're just going to take, maybe do this straight down. And let's store all this in Q1. So let's come up. Here's something that will help in a couple of different ways. One, knowing your fixture, and even in your fixture selection, like these are some of the things that I can do. So in this example, I'm going to go, you know what? I have, let's look at our wash fixtures. I've got all these circles that are smaller. So obviously the SLs are one thing, but I've got these 155s up here. So I go, okay, I got that. So let's actually just take these out, these outer and mid rings out. I go, okay, let's do that. I've widened, I took why they're in flood, right? Now I go, okay, well, they're pointed straight out. These are kind of more down. I'm gonna go, let's actually maybe take these into the crowd. and turn them down to like 2%, or maybe 10%. Something like that, right? So these, about 10%. Cool. So we bring them up. Got that sorted. Cool. So now I have some ambiance in the crowd. My main character, I'm not seeing any immediate beams. My main character is the Diablos, still hitting hard with this dimmer effect. Now, a couple of decisions that I have to make now is where do I add the rest of my rig in, right? So that's at full. So definitely don't want that. So let's bring it down and let's piece it together. So my 155s, I actually want those to match my quantums. Let's bring those down a little bit. Okay, they're still there. They're not quite as punchy, but I think that's actually a stronger look. So we're still going to store that in Q1 just in case we want to bring those back. Let's look at our 660s and 640s. Again, we're going to put those in that cyan color. So Q1. But I think, just full on just isn't the best look. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a 0 through 55 through 0. No, I don't want that. I have this vert one where it's just a different selection. I also have it saved somewhere. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I can do 0 through 55 through 0 there, and then it gives a nice 55 through 0 through 55. Let's do that. And let's actually do 25 through 0 through 25. Something like that. Cool. So I have something that looks good, camera 1, camera 2, that wide shot, something behind the band. But what's carrying the bulk of the energy and the look is still the Diablos. So we got here. Now we go into our verse. And we have this transitional kind of fade down, also into the iris 4 on the floor. But what I'm going to do is I'm not going to change anything else. So the Diablos are still carrying the look. Now what I am going to do is, so here in 3, when we talked about adding, there's that build right there. So we're going to go in here, add 3, also just because it's annoying. Oops. It's annoying to me. Get rid of the decimal points. So in this build, we're going to change this to, I think that's like maybe 3 seconds. So remember when we talked about the Diablos popping off and looking a little bit bigger? So that's what we're going to do, is when it gets into that little bit of a build, is we're going to bring those up, and then we're going to go, and then it goes into the chorus, and we've got some movement there. Shorten that fade time to about 2 seconds into the chorus. So I just changed this to 2 seconds into the chorus. And let's go ahead and see kind of how this looks. So transition, mark. We've got this intro look that's got the Diablos 4 on the floor on the dimmer. We could definitely add some more energy with some of the other fixtures, but that's something for another video. So we have this transition. We're into the into the verse. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So we're in the verse. We've got iris. Again, kind of evaluating, where's my eye going? It's going to the Diablos. Those are carrying the look. Here we go. So we've got this, two very distinct looks. Diablos are carrying it. Something that I would probably, this is just be an example of something that I would say, yeah, try this, is the color on the Diablos is, it's not like super saturated, but you could do a couple of things. Is you could do, so right now we are, let me go into this. So for color, we're in this like dust magenta. So we can go ahead and put that in the programmer, and we can go to then we can go into our balanced white and do a phase of, so this is something too that gets me, is it says link phase or single. We want to set that to feature when we're dealing with color. So doing something like that, or doing a 0 through 360 through 0, and then going into transition, turning that way down. And actually, I think I want the phase, something like that. And then speed, we're going to do 127 divided by 2, see what that looks like. Cool. Let's do it 0 through 180, it looks like. Zero through 180 through 0. 180 through 0. I'll get there. Cool. So you can kind of see there, it's doing like an inside out type of look. We're going to throw that into the chorus. So you have this kind of build, and then we go into the praise, which is going to pop in that white. So it just adds, again, it pulls those Diablos out and says, no, this is it. This is the main look. We could do some other things with the rest of the rig. We could even go in and add in, these 155s. So going from this look down into this look, or down into the, oops, let me go here. So you can see, so we're in the verse, build, and then chorus. Like there's a very clear indicator of who's the main character, and that's the Diablos. So that's just kind of an idea, an example of, we'll do another one with the quantum washes and with the static washes. I just don't want these to be like 2-hour-long videos. But that's sort of just the mindset of, not really the mindset, but just the approach of thinking through, okay, what's my main character? And there's so many ways, times along your programming where you're going to go, okay, yeah, but I want this doing this, and I want this doing that, and I want that doing this. It's like, well, hold on. What's the overall look supposed to be? What's supposed to carry that look? And that's going to help kind of guide your programming decisions as you move through the song. And the lead role can change. That's not like taboo or anything. But just it's more of having a very intentional and some intentionality in your approach, and in the way that you kind of go about programming. Cool. Well, that's a wrap on this one. Thanks, everybody.